Hola fam and welcome to another episode of LatinaGeek. Oh man, I am so sorry that I have not been around. A lot has happened. A lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. Been looking for a job. And cuz I love YouTube but doesn't pay. But I did participate in the Global Game Jam recently in January. I talked about it a little bit about 2 videos ago, but I will link the game below just in case you hadn't heard. Basically, made a game in 48 hours, and my part was playing one of the lead environment artists. So that was a blast and a half for me, and because of it, and because I loved it so much, um, I created a how-to survival guide for Game Jam specifically for artists. So I will link that below. You can buy it and check it out. Yeah, just like very precise, I guess, stuff to help you with time management and what to expect and what to bring. No excuses. So if you're interested, if you ever thought about doing a game jam, bring your A game and also buy my PDF. This week we are playing some more indie games. This one is called Serena. I just saw it launched today, and I want to give these indie game guys some love because I know that there are some big titles coming out that might be overshadowing them. Resident Evil 7 is definitely well deserved for how glorious it is, but I like to give these smaller houses some love. So this game is called Serena. The reason we're looking at a Steam screen is because the game jumps you right into it. So I haven't touched it. I opened it up to make sure it plays, but let's just jump in from here. Always a good start. I do like the textures.
Sometimes, when I make a great effort, I can remember her scent. Serena? Why can't I see you more clearly? The furniture came with the cabin. Considering how off the beaten path this place is, that helped make up our mind.
Okay, so... Oh, hey.
Sometimes she would brush her leg against mine, and the table is worn but sturdy, just like our relationship was. Or is. I just don't know anymore. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. This one wobbles. I always meant to do something about that, but somehow never got around to it. This was taken on that crisp winter night at our mutual friend's hunting lodge. We came back indoors, laughing, giddy as teenagers.
Wonder why her face is blurred out.
It was truly like an enchanted time, like we were in a magic circle where no sorrow or pain could touch us.
Right. Okay. Let's see here.
The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions.
Woo! Alright, sorry guys. I lost my pace.
You always put too much salt in, dear. Think about your pressure.
For the record, I can't move, right? So I'm trying, but there's no, it's a click and grab. Oh, never mind. Hey.
So much wisdom and happiness in this bookcase. My life would have been much poorer without all this. The smell of old books is intoxicating. What happens to wood pulp as it ages gives it that distinctive vanilla smell.
I had no idea. I learned something new. Hey. That's creepy. How creepy that is. Okay. Did I miss something? Oof. Guys. Alright.
This window never got much attention. Then again, the view isn't nearly as spectacular. Priorities, right?
Okay. So I needed to be clicking towards stuff.
Something draws me to this trunk. Is it the memories locked within?
Or my wife?
Or something else.
I've been tainted. I don't trust the main characters anymore, guys. Let's see here.
Come, love, with peace in your heart, said Niamh of the ice-blue eyes. Blue eyes.
I am uncertain where this is gonna lead us, to be honest. Like,
Our refuge from the world. A place of warmth and passion.
oh my god, we get it. We get it. Y'all just did it all
Quite
over
a
this
large
house.
armoire for our admittedly Spartan needs. She uses most of it.
Women.
We all have our skeletons in the closet, but not Serena. She was perfect.
Nope, nope. Alright.
She made this with her own hands. She was really good. For some reason, light bulbs wouldn't last long. 2 days, 3 days tops, and bam, a brand new light bulb would burn out. She adored all things of nature. I remember her long walks out in the woods. She is fairly religious, not me. I'm the cold and cynical bastard. But I don't remember that ever being an issue between us.
Okay, cool. Neat. Radical. Alright.
Look what I made, hun, in case we ever need to sweep something under the carpet.
Like my bones. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Let's do that.
Unlike its sibling, this lamp would last for months.
Skin Quest. Oh.
She was special. Contradictory. She didn't mind these. Actually, I think she was into them too.
I mean, who isn't?
That looks interesting. We can always try it.
I read
Lesbian
it for
ghosts.
the articles, of course.
Oh my
Like
God.
that one by the guy. That one about the thing.
Well,
I needed some incentive to go check the mailbox from time to time. It's some way through the woods.
oh, I think that's a hint. Okay. Alright. Check in
It's a beautiful
all sorts
day,
of places.
though there's an unnatural calm surrounding the area. Hers. There's a strand of blonde yes, blonde hair like sun rays. I'm remembering. There's only an outhouse, and for some reason, whoever erected the rickety thing didn't think to include wall-to-wall mirrors. So, this came in handy.
Dearest, how do I say any of this? I like your way with words, but if I don't write this, I don't know what I'll do. My life feels so unreal now, dreamlike, but wonderfully so. Let me try, even if clumsily. The hours I spent with you when we last met are precious to me. I was so lost such a short time ago. Everything seemed drained of color and feeling. I think we were meant to find each other, to bring meaning to our lives again, make sense of the confusion shrouding both of us. When we stepped into the crystal silence of the snowy woods,
Alright. Alright, I can only stomach so much of that. Let's
Comme
see.
une évidence. Serena's favorite perfume. These keys are for the cabin and the car. If the keys are here, does she have her spare?
Okay.
They prevent my blood pressure from skyrocketing. Doctor's orders. And Serena's.
How old am I? Okay. Let's see if I can go outside. Yes. Okay. See if there's anything around here I need to be aware of. Okay.
It's been so long since I said her name out loud. I think that's the moment I fell in love with her, when she told me the soothing sound of her name.
Okay.
No, I don't want to leave right now. There's still something for me in here.
Okay.
Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, great. Oh, that's a
So
great sound.
many afternoons spent in this armchair.
Okay. I need to check out the stove.
We had such a wonderful time dining in this cabin. Serena loved to experiment with her cooking.
Let's see if there's anything in the books that I've missed.
I loved it when we took down one of my favorites and curled up on the bed to read together as the wind howled outside on cold winter nights. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No, of course not. Most of the books are mine. A lot of rarity. I didn't lend out
Okay,
my Necronomicon, did I?
I already read that one.
Of course not.
What am I missing? Okay, I checked this part out. I checked maybe
I
something
could
on
tell
the table.
plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions, and there were many more to come. Sharing meals with a good red wine was one of the great pleasures in our relationship. As truth be told, not all the cooking she did was a resounding success. We agreed to never attempt doing ravioli again. I should probably eat. Can't remember the last time I ate. Yet I don't feel hungry.
You silly dolt. Here, give me that. Don't be such a child.
Dolt. Ooh, call. Okay, alright.
I have more pressing things on my mind right now than culinary exploits.
Alright, I think that's a hint from the game to move away. I just tried to figure out what part. Come on.
I guess it's covered with grease and grime from cooking, mostly.
Okay.
We use this trunk to store trinkets and papers, but I can't help thinking there's something of importance inside. It's too painful. I want to, but not yet.
Okay, so maybe we're still going through these memories before we open up what is in the
See the
trunk.
pattern of yellow squares? It's from this rug I remembered from my nursery. I must have been like 3 or 4, but it always stuck with me.
No trap door under there, just more creaky floor. Sometimes we joked we needed to be so far out in the woods because that's how our sex life was.
Oh my
Far
god.
out.
Alright, this has been an excellent episode of LatinaGeek. I'm kidding. But, man, we're just going through the little carcass that was this couple's
The furniture came with the
relationship.
cabin, but the bedclothes we brought with us. A place like this needs some luxury, but without her... There are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head.
Oh, goody.
I'm not sure why, but I don't feel like opening it. The sole thought of it drains what little energy I have left in me.
Ugh. Buddy. Buddy. Alright.
Maybe later. There's nothing of interest inside the closet anyway.
Alright, so there's nothing in the closet. There's nothing in the dressers. There's nothing under the...
I always resisted the temptation to sweep things under there when it was my turn to tidy up.
Let's see. Yes, let's look at the clock. Clocks usually have some
The
significance.
clock
in
is a
things.
trophy from our flea market adventures. Chalk this particular purchase up to every cabin needs one.
Right next to the bed, though? I think.
The ticking begins to feel homey after a while. The first night was a nightmare, though.
I bet.
Time never mattered much to us while we were hiding from the rest of the world here, as long as we were together and happy. The clock has always been rather autonomous. No matter how many times we've wound it up, it keeps going out of sync. Actually, I think it might have gone out of sync again. No trusting this clock. I wonder what time it is. As if it mattered. I've always loved the hazy afternoon shades of this place. It's deep into summer, so there's a few hours left until it gets dark.
Okay. Everything I need to look at is just, I'm going to have to progress through the story.
The clock has always been rather autonomous.
Alright.
No matter. I feel too restless to sleep right now.
Okay.
I've always told Serena that she doesn't need to wear perfume. Her presence is magical enough already.
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, guys, we're going to get through this. We're going to figure out this story.
I'm generally not fond of taking medication. I find it hard to believe ingesting a few chemicals will do me much good in the long run.
Guys, in spite of this message, remember to take your meds. It's okay to take your meds.
Should I dust for fingerprints? I might if I were in a detective story.
Ha.
After all these years, it permanently smells of her and her perfume.
What did you do to your wife? Alright, I'm missing something. I'm missing something. Okay.
Dearest. And then you toppled us
Oh,
on the
that's
snow, you devil. We laughed and rolled around, my head already spinning from the wine and crisp, pure night air
Ugh.
and the stillness all around.
Yep.
We lay back and I gasped when I realized what I was seeing.
Alright, it's too much. Oh, it's so sugary sweet. I can't. Okay, let's see here. Comb.
What's wrong with my memory? Did I have a stroke?
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
She also had a brush, but I can't see it anywhere, nor some of her other personal items. It's just a regular comb bought from a supermarket, new enough to still have all its teeth. It smells so elegant. There's violet leaf and silk tree blossom, I think. This perfume is perfect for Serena. Why didn't I ever notice? The sunlight is so bright here. In other circumstances, this would have been the perfect afternoon for us.
Okay, so back where I began. Let's see if there's anything else. I
Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's based on an Irish folktale. Niamh is of the Fey folk, the fair one. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit... I've always been drawn to things that are kind of both good and bad at the same time. Maybe because that's so like life. My grandma introduced me to these old legends when I was just a kid, in between stories of what she could still remember of her childhood in the old country. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry.
Okay.
The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you.
Okay. What am I missing, guys? Let's see.
She used to keep magazines, paperback novels, usual. She always thought our relationship was a blessing. God, how I miss her. Her faith came as a surprise to me. She was never prudish about sex, so I just didn't expect it. I guess people simply aren't that predictable. Curiously, we never brought many plants inside the cabin. We were surrounded by so many outside, I guess we were saturated by them. At least I was. I don't sleep well without Serena next to me. There are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. I'm a casual dresser. No need to change clothes right now. Whenever her lamp didn't work, Serena would come by my side to read. A few moments later, she would lay her head down on my chest and fall asleep.
What did you do to her, you monster?
The only reason this lampshade gathered less dust than the other one was that we had to keep putting new bulbs in this one.
Okay. Are there stairs I missed? No?
Don't think Serena would approve of me making an even bigger mess of the clothes in here. I've always been drawn to things that are kind of both good and bad at the same time. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one. We found this trunk at a flea market, big enough for a lifetime. We hated guns, so we found this trunk at a flea market, big enough for a lifetime of mementos.
Okay. So far, Serena's gone. This whole cabin is just a memory captured in time, almost. Like, he didn't change a whole lot going on in here. So I'm going to go back over and see. Go from bottom to top.
Most of the books are mine. A lot of rarities and special editions here.
Okay.
I didn't lend out my necro. Most of the books are a lot of rarities and special editions
check the
here.
very tippy top. Nothing to click, nothing to sticker at. Okay.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. And cuddle.
What did we talk about? Damn this fallible memory of mine. The most comfortable spot in the cabin. Well, along with the bed, of course. I can imagine her cuddling up to me even now, putting her hand under my shirt.
Alright, hey, whoa.
Of
Calm
course,
down.
we made love here, too.
Of course
There
you
was no
did.
place in the cabin we didn't before things deteriorated.
Oh, okay. Are we finally...
The most comfortable spot in the cabin.
Okay.
Well, for all the charm of furniture like this, something about it reminds me of Ingmar Bergman.
Okay.
Sort of our dining table. Quite modest, but
Alright,
if
so
it
we
ain't broke,
finally
don't fix
got
it.
to a point where we're talking about stuff is falling apart. So, let's keep... Man, that makes me sound awful cynical, but... Just trying to
There was
progress
a
the story.
time long ago that all this disrepair felt oddly homey. All the windows are drafty, but like everything else, we just got used to it. I can make out nothing through this window.
Okay. So we got a little bit more.
There's always a chance she might return. There's nothing for me out there.
Okay. So far everything was really lovely, and they were just
I always
Screwing
resisted the
everywhere.
temptation to sweep.
The rug's all crooked again. Can you help me straighten it out?
screwing all over the cabin. Stuff went wrong. Hey ho, what do you know? Okay.
There's a crack in this window from a tantrum she threw some time ago. It wasn't the only thing she threw. The sunlight can be confusing, oppressive, as if pregnant with some ill omen. Or is the stress finally catching up with me?
Oh. Think of your heart, bucko. Okay.
The sunlight is so bright here. There's a crack in this window from a tantrum she threw some time ago. Actually, I think it might have gone out of sync. Again.
Nothing. Nothing.
Dearest, how do I say any of this? And then you toppled us.
Yep, okay. So we've covered that several times over.
The last thing I need now is to see myself in the mirror. I must look awful.
He doesn't have a reflection. That's one thing I kind of noticed here.
We were happy for a long time. At least, I think we were. But as time passed, we fought about every little thing, even this. I keep looking at her things, remembering all the good and bad.
And all the murder! So as we progress, we start getting more and more dialogue. I noticed the windows are... I thought they looked like they were changing, but I could be making
No
that up.
trap door under there. I feel too restless to sleep right. I don't sleep well without Serena next to me.
Let's see.
Both a blessing and a curse, I suppose.
Let's see. We're starting to get some more dialogue, which is interesting.
We hated guns, so we never had any,
Nope.
even out here.
Okay.
But this would have been a good place to... I could tell plenty of stories about the dining table was, well, our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. One of a matching pair. Obviously. There was a piece of gum stuck to the underside of this chair back when we bought this place. We just left it there. I can imagine her cuddling. Of course, we made love the most I can imagine. Of course, we made love here, too.
Okay.
There was no place
I
in the cabin we
know.
didn't before things... Considering how basic and ancient the kitchen is, it's a wonder what we managed to do with it from time. I think it dates from the... It belongs in a museum. An archaeologist could excavate the layers of food forever welded onto this, and I think it dates from the colonial era, probably brought over by the Pilgrims.
Okay. Feel like I'm no closer to solving this mystery.
There was a time, long ago, that all this disrepair felt. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece.
Alright. Back over. Maybe so we can get some more dialogue.
My grandma introduced me to these old weird mix of dog. My grandma introduced me
Okay.
to these old legends when I was just a kid, in between stories of what she could still remember of her childhood in the old country.
Nope. Okay.
Maybe later. There's nothing of interest inside the closet anyway.
But there could be. Oh, man.
Because of a wiring problem or whatever, this one always starts smelling sharply of metal after being on for a while.
That's lovely.
Good night, love.
She would always bring her reading material like I did. Why are these nightstands so empty? Considering what a strong odor of metal this one gives off when in use, I guess we were lucky never to have an accident. The only reason this lampshade gathered less dust than the other one was there are no monsters under the bed.
Okay, so.
I always resisted the temptation to sweep things under there when it was my turn to tidy up.
Let's see. Got some more dialogue going. Let me see if we can get it from the lamp here.
We brought the lamps with us when we got this place all those years ago. They were from a garage sale. The sun is streaming through the window. No reason to turn this on. The sunlight can be confusing. The sunlight is... There's a crack in this window from a tantrum she threw some time ago. I feel too restless to sleep right now.
Okay. Alright, how we doing? Okay. Well, I don't feel like we're any closer to wrapping this up, so I'm going to wrap up this episode as to where we are. I'm going to do a little research to see, without giving too much away, what the outcome of this should be. But this is Serena. It is free on the Steam app. So go and download it and play it yourself if you're really into quick adventure games. This is very different from me since the controls are so different. But we're going to get an answer. We're going to get an answer next week. For those of you that might have seen the Tina Belcher video that I released, I'm not sorry. I was so sick. But for the one person that did hit the down button, I understand. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will get an answer next week. And
So
yeah.
glad to meet you.
Ooh.
My name is Serena.
Ooh. Thanks, Serena. We will meet again. Bye, guys.